all, I would like to thank EVG Network and my upline. I'm Cindy, your MC for this evening webinar. I would like to thank all of you for taking time to join us this evening webinar. Before we begin, our AV team has muted all your Zoom apps, so allow the sessions to run smoothly without interruptions. You can still continue to use the chat function within the Zoom apps throughout the whole webinar. We will have a Q&A sessions towards the end of the webinar. You can unmute to ask your questions or simply type your question in the chat box. So, presentation slides and pictures will be displayed during the sharing. If you can't see it clearly, you may zoom in for a clearer view. Have you ever noticed losing weight used to feel easier, but now it's getting harder and harder? Even when you are not eating much and you are exercising, your weight still stay the same or even slowly increases. So the problem isn't whether you are trying to lose weight, but whether you are using the right approach. Tonight, we are pleased to have our speaker, Charlie, who will be sharing valuable insight on why is it becoming harder to lose weight. Let's put our big hand. Welcome our speaker, Charlie.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start by thanking EVG Network and my upline. My name is Charlie, and I'm thankful to be given the chance to share with you about why is it getting harder to lose weight. Now, losing weight can be easy if you understand the methods and the science behind it. And if wrong methods are used, it can be detrimental to health. Many of us tend to lose weight so that we can look and feel better. Okay, but how many people really realize that being overweight can have a negative impact on our health, and obesity has actually caused a huge global health problem? Now, let me bring up some slides for your better understanding. So, according to the Medicine Journal, the Lancet report in 2019, there are about 2.3 billion people worldwide who are overweight and obese, and it is estimated that about 1/3 of the global population, or more than 7 billion people, are overweight, which means that, and on average, 1 in every 3 person is obese. And Duke University also estimated that by 2030, there will be about 3.3 billion people who are overweight or obese. Obesity can bring about several concerns such as difficulty walking, lack of self-confidence, and difficulty in finding clothes that fit. And often, right, people with obesity tend to hide at the back when taking photos. Moreover, obesity can impair immune system and increase the risk of various diseases. So let's take a closer look. So having a low immunity means the ability to fight against infection. An experiment was conducted by researchers which fed 35 mice with high sugar and high fat diets. After about 5 months, the average weight of these experimental mice was about 37% higher than that of the mice fed with normal diets. And the risk of obese mice dying from flu was 10 times more than that of normal mice. Therefore, obesity is like a magnet for chronic disease. The risk of dying from heart disease for obese people is 40% higher than that of normal people, such as high blood pressure, stroke, and so on. According to nutritional immunology experts, as long as we lose 10% of our body weight, blood pressure will also drop by 10%. Now, the risk of developing diabetes, kidney, and also liver disease is about 60% to 120% higher for obese people than that of normal ones. So the probability of obese people developing type 2 diabetes is also twice as much as that of other people. So they are also at a 10% higher risk of dying from fatal cancers such as breast, pancreatic, esophageal, and also gallbladder cancer. They also are around 20% more likely to die from respiratory disease, related disease. And obese children have a 37% higher chance of developing asthma than normal weight children. They are also 26% more likely to develop allergies. Alzheimer's disease is also related to obesity. So, do you know that the brain weight of normal overweight people is 8% less than that of healthy weight people? So, if the brain cells were to decrease, this can impair memory and gradually lead to amnesia. and the person's lifespan can only last for about 8 years. In addition, obesity can also cause osteoarthritis due to the bodies that add pressure to the knees, waist, and hips, which wears down the cartilage, leading to osteoarthritis. So, how can we determine if we are overweight? This can be determined by the body mass index, which I'm sure many of us are also familiar with. It's called BMI for short. So BMI can be calculated by dividing weight in kilograms by the square of height in meters. For example, if someone weighs 70 kilograms and their height is about 1.65 meters, you can divide 70 by 1.65 and then divide that result again by 1.65. And the BMI you get is 25.7. But is a BMI of 25.7 is considered overweight or normal weight? Let's look at the next slide for answers. Okay, we can take a look at this chart over here. The BMI recognized by both the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, also known as CDC, and the World Health Organization, also known as WHO. Okay, the ideal range for BMI is between 18.5 to 22.9. So younger people should be based on a lower BMI value, but older ones should be based on a higher BMI value. The healthy BMI value is about 22, and if the BMI is less than 18.5, it is considered underweight. If it's over 23, it's considered overweight. And if it's over 27.5, it's considered obese. Okay, and if this goes over 35, it's considered extremely obese or morbidly obese. Therefore, if in the example I gave earlier, a person with a BMI of 25.7 is considered overweight. So, have you calculated your own health index, and are you within the healthy range? And how far are you from the healthy weight range? So if that's the case, right, have you considered starting to lose weight? Now, let's take a look at how people in the market or people around us lose weight. I'm sure we often come across ads that claim, to offer simple and fast ways to lose weight while scrolling through our phone. Okay, so these are the various weight loss methods. They are available in the market. We have improper dieting, high protein diets, all fruits diet, vegetarian diet drugs, and also enzyme inhibitors. So let's understand how these methods help people to lose weight, whether or not they are effective, or whether or not they will cause weight rebound. Let's take a look at what it entails. First, we have improper dieting. Now, I'm sure a lot of us start with this kind of dieting methods. So have you seen people relying on just dieting to lose weight, suppressing the appetite and enduring hunger? In fact, what is lost is only the water weight and not the actual weight. Okay, not the actual weight loss. Now, if you think about it, after starving for a few days, don't you end up eating more in the next meal? Okay, this can actually lead to weight gain instead of weight loss. Once they are back to normal eating, the weight will immediately rebound. Okay, and this will also cause nutrition imbalance and low immunity. Now, if the nutrition intake is insufficient, can also weaken the body immunity, making it difficult to fight against diseases. Dieting can also slow down our metabolism, making it harder for us to control our weight and even lose the weight. And it can also harm our gastrointestinal health. Now, going back and forth, being full and hungry is very damaging to our digestive system. And although we may lose the weight, it is not the healthiest way to do so. So excessive dieting can also lead to anorexia. An extreme example was seen in Brazil, where a model fainted during a fashion show and later died due to starving herself to death. Yeah, and this is why there's a saying, beauty shouldn't come at the cost of life, because it's really not worth it. So, if not for improper dieting, another popular diet method is high protein diet, otherwise known as ketogenic diet, which involves high protein intake, which emphasize the need to prolong the feeling of fullness. So people tend to avoid carbohydrates such as rice, noodles, and bread. And the principle behind this diet is that when the body lacks carbohydrate, it will break down the fats in the food and in the body to obtain the energy, which might be an exciting news for women hoping to lose the fat. However, this metabolic process can lead to ketosis, which is the production of acidic substances called ketones that need to be excreted through urine. Now, put this extra burden on the kidneys, and moreover, people in ketosis may experience mental fog, nausea, fatigue, low blood pressure, and also bad breath. You can also monitor yourself and see if you have this kind of symptoms as well. Now, in addition, Meat also contains high amount of saturated fats, which may increase the risk of coronary heart disease, diabetes, stroke, and even cancer. And not to mention, a high protein diet can also be nutritionally imbalanced because animal proteins cannot provide the vitamins, minerals, fiber, and other nutrients that our body needs. An imbalanced diet can actually prevent cholesterol from lowering. So when high levels of animal proteins are consumed, the body breaks it down into sulfur, amino acids, and increasing our body acidity. And as a result, our body will use calcium from the bones to neutralize excessive acidity, which can lead to osteoporosis over time. And in addition, it also increases uric acid levels in our body. And since meat is high in purines, it can cause the body to produce large amount of uric acid, leading to gout and kidney stones. And I'm certain nobody will want to have such consequences. Another diet method is a fruit-based diet, which means we can't eat anything except for fruits. And be careful, although we can lose that weight, it does not necessarily mean becoming slim, because often it's only due to the loss of body muscles and water weight. So if you only eat fruits throughout the day, how much do you think you need to actually eat to feel full? And fruits are easily digested, so you'll get hungry easily. Moreover, some fruits such as banana, durian, mango, longan, lychee, etc., they contain high sugar and high calories, which are not helpful for weight loss. So not only is nutrition imbalanced, and eating fruits lack protein, and it also doesn't give the necessary nutrients that we need for our body. So the prolonged imbalanced nutrition can lead to a weakened immune system. So if not fruits, what about a vegetarian diet? Sounds better, right? But this method mainly relies on vegetables, fruits, and starchy foods that generally does not succeed. So what do you usually eat when you eat vegetarian food? So for me, when I think of vegetarian food, I really like the kind of fragrant, crispy fried food. So vegetarian food is often fried to enhance the taste, and even vegetables oil, right, contain high calories, with each tablespoon, right, of oil at about 120 calories. And have you heard of Impossible Meat? It's a synthetic food that tastes like real meat, and it is said that even blood can be made. In fact, many vegetarian food undergoes sophisticated processing, which adds the flavoring, preservative, and various harmful chemicals. And this food tastes delicious, and it can be harmful to our health. So then how can we lose weight? So the above mentioned methods are actually wrong weight loss methods, such as fasting, ketogenic diet, fruit diet, vegetarian diet. They are not effective. So now let's take a look at other stimulative weight loss methods. Now, people nowadays, right, they want quick results. They want fast and quick ones, which has led to many incorrect weight loss methods. They have short-term effects. However, the purpose of weight loss is to prevent various diseases caused by obesity. Using improper weight loss methods can actually lead to more chronic disease, which is counterproductive. So let's take a look at weight loss pills. As the name suggests, they belong to a type of medication, and I'm not sure if you have ever used or currently taking weight loss pills. Taking just one pill a day, right, can suppress appetite and make you not want to eat all day. However, once you stop taking this weight loss pill, your weight will immediately rebound. But how do you know the ingredients and the side effects? Now, generally, weight loss pill achieve weight loss by suppressing our appetite. So let's take a look at these weight loss pills in the picture. They have all the same effect, which is to suppress our appetite and inhibit fat enzymes. And the side effects they bring up are almost the same as well. So if you have used weight loss pills, therefore, you will likely to experience dizziness, headache, insomnia, nervousness, diarrhea, and even high blood pressure, accelerated heartbeat, stomach pain, flatulence, and also oily or stirring bowel movement. So just by taking one of these weight loss pills, you can actually bring about so many side effects. What about traditional Chinese medicine, also known as TCM? While we often mistaken that traditional Chinese medicine is harmless and beneficial for our body. However, it turns out that this TCM is still medicine, and all medicine has its drawbacks. Some natural Chinese medicine can even be harmful to our body. For example, many weight loss products contain caffeine, such as guarana, which is a fruit commonly used in many weight loss products. This fruit contains about 2 to 4.5 caffeine, which is twice as much as coffee bean. And the SSAV of guarana can actually stimulate the central nervous system, causing fever and diuresis. So these side effects, right, can include nausea, dizziness, anxiety, high blood pressure, accelerated heartbeat, and insomnia. Moreover, such high levels of caffeine can actually be addictive as well. So most food containing guarana do not indicate its caffeine level. So we actually do not know how much we are consuming. Another one is ephedra. Now, this is common ingredient in weight loss drugs as well. So its function is to speed up metabolism and is also a stimulant. So ephedra can stimulate our hearts, causing symptoms such as high blood pressure, epilepsy, stroke, and even death. So this ingredient is banned in the US, but many people still mystically, right, believe that this is a natural and safe for us to consume. Many weight loss teas are also made by concentrated black teas and laxative. So the principle of the effectiveness is to stimulate movement in our colon and cannot emit heat from our body. Therefore, what is lost is only the water weight. So many of us say that we don't drink coffee, but they drink tea instead. No, in fact, tea also contains as much as 3% caffeine, which is higher than coffee. After multiple teas that are concentrated, the caffeine content will also increase as well, leading to diarrhea, dehydration, abnormal heart rhythms, and kidney failure. So is it really worth to go for kidney dialysis for the sake of weight loss? And eventually, these side effects can cause death as well. So these weight loss drugs often use natural, organic, without side effects as to advertising slogan. And in fact, not all traditional Chinese medicine is beneficial for our body. Even natural Chinese herbal plants, right, have its own side effects. And there's one more method that is called lipase inhibitors, also known as fat enzyme inhibitors, and this belongs to a weight loss drug. Okay? It is said that it can inhibit the absorption of fats, so when the body is less likely to absorb fat, this oil can be directly excreted from our body, which is called oil leakage. In other words, you can eat and the body will not absorb this oil as well. So sounds good to be true, right? But this oil leakage, is it really effective? Speaking of this, right, those who want to use this method should listen carefully. In fact, according to the manufacturers themselves, using this product can only help to lose about 2.2 kilograms in a year. The US Health Bureau, along with the FDA, also warns that using this product may cause serious liver damage. A study in Toronto found that the use of such products can increase kidney damage by 3 times. So think about it again. Is it really worth to lose 2.2 kilograms in a year at the expense of damaging the liver and kidney? Losing weight is not something that can be achieved overnight. And the most crucial thing for weight loss is calories. So where do calories come from? Calories can come entirely from the food we eat. So when the intake of calories exceed the amounts our body can burn each day, the extra calories will be converted into fats, and it is the accumulation of these fats that leads to obesity. So if you want to lose weight, the key is to be mindful to these calories. You need to calculate how much calories you need to consume each day and make sure to consume fewer calories than your body burns. But how do you do this? Of course, you need to understand your calorie requirement. So the number of calories a person needs per day depends on the weight, the gender, and the age, and also the level of activity. So each of them actually differs. For example, a sedentary 31-year-old woman need about 1,800 calories per day to maintain her weight, and a moderately active 31-year-old man needs 2,400 to 2,600 calories per day to maintain his weight. So let's take a look at how we can actually achieve our weight goals. So to lose weight, the calories intake must be less than the calories required. Healthy weight loss is a step-by-step process. You cannot achieve this overnight. So to lose 0.5 to 1 kilogram per week, you need to reduce your daily calorie intake by 500 to 1,000 calories in a diet. Or you can exercise to burn off the calories you consume. So the conclusion is that the key to weight loss is calorie intake. If you decide to lose weight and not regain it, you must know the calories of various food and determine to keep track of it. So let's dive off at some of the common food. The first one, look at pepperoni pizza, which is a favorite among the masses. Okay, per 100 gram is about 1050 calories. In other words, if you eat the whole pepperoni pizza, even you breathe in the air, you will gain weight, right? And also look at fries, French fries. One large servings, a large fries about 510 calories, right? So these are the calories you need to take. You need to really pay attention to. Now, how about calories in seafood and preserved food? All right. Okay, look at fish cake, also loved by a lot of people. Okay, per 100 gram is about 200 calories. All right. Yeah, and also if you look at the preserved food, right, the calories are much higher than the seafood itself. So you have to be really mindful at what you're eating. Be selective, right? Now, calories in meat. Roast duck is one of our hot favorite. You know, the Peking duck. Yeah, it's really a lot of people love it. 100 grams, 430 calories, right? So really, you have to really pay attention to what you're eating, right? Calories in dim sum, pasta, spring roll, 3.5 ounce, already have 200 calories, and 3.5 ounce is just so little. You probably have to eat a lot of portion just to feel, feel the spring roll. And also, you're looking at among all this, okay, the lower one is macaroni, but 95 doesn't mean it's low. It's still pretty high at per 100 grams. Now, calories in eggs and dairy products. Cheddar cheese, oh my goodness, it's used in a lot of food items. Okay, and it's loved by a lot of people, including me. I love cheddar cheese. Per 100 grams, 440 calories. So much, right? And also egg. You look at egg. You look at boiled egg. Okay, boiled egg, which a lot of people take 2 boiled eggs every morning for their breakfast. Per serving is one serving is already 80 calories. Yeah. So imagine the amount of calories you're going to accumulate. And among all these, right? Why not go for skim milk or soybean milk, which has a lower calories at 3.5 ounce, only 38 and 36, right? How about calories in grains? Plain rice, 180 grams, 252 calories, and usually probably have some people, right, will probably eat, many portions of rice just to feel full. And also, yeah. And if you want to go for rice, why don't go for brown rice? Brown rice at 300 grams is only at 125 calories. So you can eat more and absorb fewer calories. So pick wisely. Now, calories in snack, nuts, legumes. Okay, potato chips. Oh my goodness, this is a favorite when you're watching movies. Okay, 100 grams is really 500 calories, and probably you have to eat a lot. I'm sure you'll be accumulating more than 500 calories. And also all these nuts. Okay, peanuts is one of our favorite. Almonds, all these are hot favorite. Look at the calories: 310, 570. So if among all the nuts, right, and legumes, right, why don't you go for green beans? Green beans at 100 grams is only 25, so you can eat a lot of it and gain all the proper nutrition from it without having to worry about calories intake. Now, calories in sauce, spread, seasoning, chocolate nut spread, okay, margarine, butter. Look at butter, 100 grams, 750 calories. That's a lot. That's very high. So when it comes to spread all this, choose the better one, okay? And in fact, there is no better one because all the spread, you look at it, they are all pretty high in calories. Yeah. But if you were to use, right, why do we go for among all this? Why go for honey? Honey at 100 grams is only at 303. Yeah. So pick the proper one. So to help you lose weight. Now, calories in dessert. Calories in dessert. Carrot cake. Oh, our hot favorite. I love carrot cake. One serving, 600 calories. Yeah. And also, and you look at cheesecake. My goodness, my favorite. 100 grams, 321 calories. Yeah. And also almond croissant. Also my favorite. Almond croissant is so nice to go with coffee. One serving, 520 calories, and probably I have to eat about 3 to 4 croissant just to feel it, just to feel the croissant, you're eating. Yeah. So yeah. So be mindful. So speaking about coffee, now let's look at coffee. Okay. You look at all this coffee, right? They are pretty high in the range. Caramel, cappuccino, 250 calories, right? And the white chocolate mocha, only with 2% milk, is 440 calories. But if you look at it at the bottom, cafe americano is only 15 calories. Why is it so low compared to the rest? They are all still coffee. Why? Because cafe americano is without milk. In other words, if no milk is added, the calories will be very low. So if you want to go for coffee, you can go for the one without milk, and then you can drink it wholeheartedly without having to worry about calories. Right now, calories in beverage, milkshake. Oh my goodness, 940 milligrams. Okay, you're looking at probably about 1 cup, 2,310 calories per cup. If you drink that milkshake, that cup of milkshake, Even you stare at the sky, drink plain water, you do nothing, you will still gain weight. Yeah. So, and the rest of the day you don't need to eat anything, and you will still gain weight, right? So if you want to go for beverage, go for the healthier one, right? Okay, and in fact, there's actually no healthy one because Coca-Cola, which a lot of people drink, one can is 139 calories. Apple juice, okay, is also 114, which is pretty high. Now, calories in fruits, coconut 400 gram portion, right, is already 400 calories. Okay, and dates is 235 because all these are pretty high. But if you want for fruits, right, pick the lower one. Look at the chart. Okay, look at you go for apple. No, there's a saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but this saying is obsolete. It should be 10 apples a day keep the doctor away. So even if you eat 10 apples which will keep the doctor away, you're only accumulating 440 calories. Right? Yeah. So you can eat wholeheartedly, eat as much as you want without even having to worry about the huge amount of calories that you're taking in. Now, calories in vegetables, okay, taro, 100 gram, 110 calories, very high. And sweet potato, 100 gram, 108, they are all very high. So if you were to choose, right, pick the lower one. Spinach, 100 grams is only 8 calories. You can eat a whole truckload of spinach, and you won't have to worry about calories, and you're getting all the abundance of the nutrition that the vegetables can provide. So vegetables you can eat as much as you can without having to worry about the calories. Yeah. Oil, oh my goodness, this one, oil. You look at it, they're all around close to 900. No matter what oil you use, it's about 900 and per 100 grams. In other words, if you don't want to have too much calories, when you use oil, please use as little as possible. The keyword is controlling how much oil you're going to put, because oil, right, is high in calories, right? So speaking of all the food, now how if you want to lose weight by exercise, is it effective? Now let's look at this activity per hour. Okay, that's the higher you weigh, the more calories you burn. So let's take at the middle weight, 70 kilo. Okay, and the number of calories burned per hour. So if you were to running, continuously for 1 hour, you only burn about 563. In other words, if you take one large fries, you have to run continuously for 1 hour just to burn off the large fries that you consume. Yeah. So among all these three, I think the best is running upstairs. Yeah. So you continue running upstairs. If you for 1 hour, you can burn 1,056 calories. So it's a good exercise for taking the stairs. Now, how about swimming? 422. If you swim for 1 hour, yeah, soccer, squash. Okay, squash. Why squash? Why is so high? Because squash is a very intense exercise, so it burns more. 844 if you do squash for 1 hour continuously. So let's take a look at some of the superfood which can give us an extra boost. Okay, we have psyllium husk. So psyllium husk contains both soluble and insoluble fiber. So this soluble fiber will form a gel-like substance that protects our digestive system from absorbing these high levels of calories, oil, and cholesterol. And this insoluble fiber acts like a brush to clear out the toxins and waste from our digestive system. And they will also increase our satiety, making us feel full, which will help in controlling our appetite, so we won't have to eat that much. And not only that, it helps to aid in digestion as well. Some of us during dieting experience constipation because of the lack of fiber in the diet. That's why you need some psyllium husk for your bowel movement to get going. Weight loss also requires some muscle mass as well. That's why protein is very important during our weight loss. So most of us tend to believe that protein should be obtained from egg, milk, or even meat. Although these food do contain protein, they are also high in calories and cholesterol. Therefore, soy protein is a good choice because it's low in calories and also doesn't have any cholesterol at all. So it's a high quality protein source and is easily absorbed by our body. So soy protein is two times higher than meat, 3 times higher than egg, and 12 times higher than milk. So it's very suitable for bodybuilders, weight loss, growing children, and the elderly. It can help to increase our muscle mass, burn more calories, and improve our metabolism, helping us lose weight easily. So next, we have American ginseng, which helps to fight fatigue, able to strengthen and balance immune system when we are dieting, as well as to nourish our liver cells. And we have Jiling ginseng, also known as the king of herbs. Now, Jiling is also known as the top grade ginseng. It strengthens our function, our lungs and spleen, so that we don't feel so tired during our workouts. And some of us think that sweating is the only way to lose weight. But can sweating really get rid of fat? It can start, not so much. In fact, 80% of the fat is excreted through our lungs. It enhances athletic performance, improves aerobic endurance, and protects and repairs our muscles, reduce stress as well as relieve mental fatigue. It enhances our digestive system as well, so that we digest better and also balance our blood pressure and cholesterol levels. So it has so many benefits, helping us lose weight. Next, we have rose. It helps to regulate hormones, enhance collagen production, and also maintain skin elasticity. Some of us, our skin tends to be saggy when we lose weight. But with rose, it helps to produce our own collagen. So when we lose weight, our skin will remain firm. We also have oriental raisin tree, which helps to nourish the liver, regenerative cells, protect and strengthen liver function, helping us to detox. Now, because our liver can actually burn fats, so this oriental raisin tree helps to promote the liver burning and metabolism of fats. So if the liver fat burning function is poor, excess fat will not have a place to stop, and it will easily lead to obesity. And many people struggling to lose weight. In fact, this is closely related to the liver. Oriental raisin tree can strengthen the liver storage of carbohydrates to provide us with the energy and vitality, and also prevent fatty liver and liver cirrhosis. And next, we have monk fruit, which helps to reduce blood sugar levels, help in diabetes and obesity, and prevents liver disease as well. Here are some of the tips for safe and effective weight loss. Firstly, we do need to take note of our balanced diet and cooking methods. So try to reduce eating high calorie food and not eat anything overnight. That's why breakfast is important, because whatever that's eaten will be fully absorbed in the morning. So try to eat more whole grains as well. Fruits and vegetables will help to reduce that calorie intake. And one important tip is that you can try to take fiber 30 minutes before a meal to increase the satiety. It can reduce that absorption and avoid overeating. So it's better for us to control our calorie and also pay attention to our eating order. Now we can try to drink water before our meals and eat high fiber fruits and vegetables. And also when we start to eat, we can drink soup before eating and also try to eat slower. So why do experts say we need to chew 20 times before swallowing? Because it takes our brain 20 minutes to receive the signal that we are actually full. That's why eating slowly can also help in weight loss. Now, taking care of our body should start from young. Get sufficient sleep, about 6 to 8 hours daily, allowing our body to burn calories fully during sleep. Moderate exercise, try to spend at least 30 minutes per session. Now, if you are unable to exercise, then at least walk about 10,000 steps. 10,000 steps daily. It's definitely better than not doing anything at all. Okay, maintain a stable emotion, smile more and be happy, and also a balanced diet rich in phytochemicals, antioxidants, and polysaccharide, which can be found in fruits, vegetables, and mushroom. Okay, overall nutrition, immunity, and health and weight loss require a conscientious calculation of calories. Pay attention to the calories that you consume, and always make sure that they are less than the calorie that you are burning. Some of us may argue that life is short and it should be enjoyed, but ask yourself, would you choose the pain of self-discipline or the pain of regret? No. As mentioned earlier, the main reason for weight gain is the food that we eat. However, with all the methods provided, some may still find that having that extra weight is cute, and they don't find the need to actually lose weight. But sitting in an airplane seat, right, can be uncomfortable, not only for ourselves, but also for those sitting next to us. Therefore, it's important to know that losing weight is not just for us to be healthy and look better, but it also helps to prevent various diseases, thus saving on those medical expenses, which can deliver a huge blow to any family. There's a saying, a healthy person can have many dreams, but once we lose our health, we have only one dream, which is to be healthy again. Now, loving ourselves is equivalent to loving your family. So don't try those harmful weight loss methods, and do your best to maintain a healthy weight, and don't let fat accumulation affect your health. With that, I have come to the end of my sharing. With this knowledge, it's not hard to lose weight anymore, right? Let's work together to prevent obesity and maintain a healthy weight. Thank you and good night.
Wow, thank you, Charlie, for your wonderful sharing. From his sharing, today we have looked at many common weight loss methods in the market, right? From improper dieting, high protein diets, fruits diets, vegetarian diets, to weight loss pill, and traditional remedies and fat blockers. At first, we may seem effective, right? But when we understand deeper, most of them only bring short-term results. Improper dieting can lead to imbalanced nutrition and weakened immunity, and even serious side effects on the heart, liver, and kidney. So, in fact, the principle is very simple. To lose weight, our calories intake must be less than the calories our body uses. But we must remember healthy weight loss is not something that happens overnight. It's a gradual, step-by-step process. Including fiber in our daily diet help us stay full longer, making it easier to control our appetite and prevent overeating. At the same time, soy protein is a high-quality protein that support both fat burning and muscle building. The more muscle mass we have, the higher our metabolism, making weight loss look easier and more effective. So, tonight, has anyone actually benefited from consuming nutritional immunology foods to win back their health? If definitely a yes. And tonight, we have a testimony shared from Denise. She will share with us about her friends who struggle with losing weight and tempted try different method, different diet, and even quick fix diet pills. So now let's welcome Denise, who will be sharing her friend's meaningful journey with us.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Denise. Thank you all for joining us. Today, I want to share a very special story with you. It is about a friend of mine named Carmen, who took control of her health, transformed her body, and most importantly, found her smile again. Like so many women, Carmen just wants to feel beautiful and confident in her own skin. But during her 20s, she faced a sudden challenge that really hurt her self-esteem and her physical health. She started noticing that she was gaining weight. Her face became rounder, and her waist and thighs grew thicker. So slowly, she realized she could no longer fit into her favorite clothes. This physical change made her feel deeply sad and insecure. It got to the point where she was actually afraid to go out and meet her friends or relatives. She was constantly worried that they would judge her and make negative comments about her weight gain. At that time, her weight had reached about 49 kg to 50 kg. While that might not sound a lot to some, for Carmen's body, this extra weight was taking a serious toll on her health. Simple daily tasks became difficult. Even just walking a short distance to take the bus or the MRT left her feeling exhausted and completely out of breath. She also started experiencing an irregular heartbeat, which was very scary for a young woman. On top of all this, her body was struggling internally. She suffered from terrible constipation, and her skin lost its healthy glow, becoming very dull and breaking out in pimples. Feeling desperate and unhappy, Carmen wanted to lose the weight as fast as possible. She was tempted to spend a lot of money on extreme measures, things like expensive slimming packages, quick fix diet pills, and exhausting workout routines. Luckily, she paused and decided to seek a friend's advice first. This friend shared with her the science of nutritional immunology. She told Carmen that she did not need to suffer to lose weight. Instead, she could do it naturally by focusing on a balanced diet, gently watching her calories, and introducing a whole food product called soy green into her daily routine. At first, Carmen was very hesitant. She knew soy green was packed with many different types of vegetables, so she honestly expected it to taste bad. But to her absolute surprise, it was wonderful. It was rich, smooth, and had a delicious light cappuccino taste. Because she truly enjoyed the flavor, it was easy for Carmen to make a healthy habit. She simply drank a cup of soy green every morning, replacing her usual oily and unhealthy breakfast. The results she saw were amazing. In just over a single month, she lost almost 4 kg. Carmen was overjoyed to see her natural slim body returning. But the absolute best part of this journey was that she never had to starve herself. By simply drinking her daily soy green, eating little less fried food, and having slightly smaller meals, she achieved steady weight loss. And most importantly, her weight did not bounce back. It wasn't just about losing weight either. Her overall health improved drastically. That terrible constipation she suffered from went away completely. Her body was finally functioning well, and because of this, her skin cleared up and began to glow with health. Today, Carmen's weight has dropped from 49 kg to a healthy, energetic 43 kg. She successfully lost a total of 6 kg. You can just imagine how relieved and happy she is to be free of the extra weight. Now she looks absolutely beautiful in all her favorite clothes, and she walks with so much confidence. Now let us take a look at how she has transformed. On the left, we saw how she looked like before when she was 49 kg. And on the right, we saw how she was looking at 45 kg. Seeing her step out looking so joyful, healthy, and completely transformed is truly inspiring. It shows us that with the right nutrition, we can all take back our health and feel good again. And with that, I end my sharing. Thank you very much.
Wow, thanks Denise for her sharing. Could you share with us what exactly Carmen did daily to achieve such amazing results?
Thank you, MC. As I shared just a moment ago, Carmen's amazing results did not come just from eating a balanced diet and gently watching her calories. She built a simple, healthy daily routine that she could easily stick with without feeling stressed. Every single morning, to fuel her body the right way, she takes 1 to 2 packets of soy green for her breakfast. By making this one easy swap, she gives her body high-quality plant-based nutrition right at the start of her day. It keeps her full, satisfied, and energized, completely replacing the heavy, oily calories of her old breakfast habits. But she didn't stop there. To give her body an extra boost and really focus on repairing her health from the inside out, she added one more special step. On top of her daily soy green, Carmen also consumes 30 ml of rosy thyme every single day. Together, this simple morning routine became her secret weapon for looking and feeling her absolute best. And with that, I end my sharing today. Thank you, MC. Over to you.
Thanks once again for Denise sharing. From Carmen's journey, we can clearly see that true transformations does not come from extreme method or shortcuts. By making small changes like starting the day with the right nutrition. I'm so happy for Denise's friends Carmen gradually improve not just our weight, but overall health, energy, and confidence. Let us congrats Denise's friends again to feel good and look confident. So if you have been searching for the better way, perhaps today is a day to start making that change. Please take note that disclaimer. Elite products are plant-based foods, which are very beneficial for health maintenance. However, Elite does not advocate any form of self-diagnosis or medical treatment. If you have any medical condition, please seek professional medical help. So next is our Q&A sessions. After the insightful presentations, I'm sure many of you have questions. Feel free to unmute and ask your question or type into the chat box. Let's see. Wow, today's chat room is very lively today. Okay, I saw somebody asking, does increasing muscle mass help burn fat and help with weight loss? Thank you for bringing up these important topics. Do we have someone from the Q&A committee who can help answering these questions?
Hi MC, I can help with this question. Hi everyone, I'm Darren, and that is a very good question, and the answer is a big yes. So when we want to lose weight, increasing our muscle mass does help accelerate fat burning. Right, let's look at this picture. You can see lean meat and fatty meat. So actually fat is just oil. This picture shows us a clear comparison. A 2 kg piece of fat and a 2 kg piece of lean meat have a volume difference of 4 times. And it's the same for human being, just like this picture show. Both person A and person B weigh 79 kg. And if they have the exact same weight, why does person B look fatter? So this is the difference between muscle and fat. So one has more muscle and the other has more fat. So which body shape would you prefer? You definitely choose A, right? So, but do you know why he looks so slim? So this is because when comparing the same weight, fats take up more space. So therefore, the person looks fatter. And on the other hand, muscle take up less space, making us look slimmer and giving us our body a better shape. So have you noticed some people exercise and eat a low-calorie diet but still cannot lose weight? So the reason is they do not consume enough protein to build or maintain muscle. So a lack of muscle means they cannot burn off more fats. So as long as we have more muscle, we can increase our basal metabolic rates, making it easier to lose weight. So how do we increase muscle? Before talking about muscle, let's first understand what protein is. So protein is made up of multiple amino acids. It's an important component that builds our muscles, bones, cartilage, skin, and blood. So it also keeps our immune system healthy. I believe everyone knows that human body is made of 60% water. But what is the second largest component in the human body? So actually 20% is made up of amino acids. And amino acids are the main components that make up protein. So as long as a person is alive, they need protein. We cannot survive if we lack protein for a long time. So there are over 20 types of amino acids in our body. So out of these, 9 types cannot be synthesized by our own body. Therefore, we need to get enough protein through our daily diet. So, how should we choose our protein? Generally, protein is divided into 2 types, animal protein and plant protein. So animal protein include meat, fish, eggs, dairy products, and so on. But this is not the best source of protein because meat is very high in saturated fat and contain cholesterol, which not only make us fat but also cause cardiovascular diseases. And furthermore, animal protein contain animal hormones that can easily trigger cancer. So there are so many types of protein powder in the market, like casein protein and whey protein. Now, this actually belongs to dairy protein. So about 80% of protein in cow's milk is casein. And this type of casein clumps easily in our stomach, making it hard to digest. So what about whey protein? So it is actually a byproduct from process of making cheese. So about 20% of protein in milk is whey protein. Now, whey protein contains cholesterol. So study shows that dairy products increase oxidative stress in the body, which speed up human aging, and oxidative stress can also trigger cancer and cardiovascular diseases. So today, if you want to choose the highest quality protein, we should choose plant-based instead of animal-based. So for example, soybeans. Soybean protein is the most abundant and complete. Soybean protein is 2 times higher than beef, 3 times higher than eggs, and 12 times higher than milk. So this means you need to drink 12 glasses of milk to get the protein of 1 portion of soybeans. So if you could choose, would you drink 1 glass of soy milk or 12 glasses of milk? So definitely 1 glass of soy milk, right? So however, not all soy protein powders are the same. So some are made from soy protein isolate, while others are made from soybeans. So how do we tell them apart? The label on a bottle of soy protein isolate will state soy protein isolate. So even though it is made from a soybean, it's actually separated through a chemical manufacturing process. And this might cause some side effects that we do not yet understand. So furthermore, it lacks the rich nutrients found in whole soybeans, such as, like example, fiber, phytochemical, antioxidants, isoflavones, and more. So a whole soybean has a certain natural balance that nature has given to us. So when we destroy this completeness, soy protein isolate no longer is an ideal choice. Now, whole soybeans are rich in nutrients. They not only have protein but also has calcium, iron, folic, fiber, phytochemicals, antioxidants, and more. So there are many other beneficial components too. So in summary, how do we choose a high quality protein? So number one, it must come from plants, not animal protein. And number two, it must be whole soybean, not isolate soybean. And number three, ensure it does not contain artificial sweetener. So artificial sweeteners actually change the way our body metabolizes fats, causing blood sugars to rise and increasing the risk of diabetes, kidney failure, and blindness. So number four, the packaging of the soy protein powder must be small, individual packets, not large tubs. So do you know why? So because we constantly open and close the large tubs of protein powder, it easily can get contaminated because of once we're exposed to air, especially in humid conditions like in Singapore, bacteria will multiply much faster. And moreover, the nutrients inside will be lost. So for example, antioxidants will be lost when exposed to air. So additionally, constantly exposing the large tubs of protein powders to the air will also cause it to oxidize. And after oxidation, the antioxidant content will also be reduced. So if you want to increase muscle to lose weight today, we must use a whole soy protein powder. And thank you and hope that I've answered the question today. And I'll hand the time back to the MC. So thank you everyone.
Thank you so much for Darren's answer. I hope Darren's answer provided valuable insights, and I'm sure it will be helpful to our friends who asked the questions. So due to time constraints, we will end the Q&A session now. And now I have got a fantastic news to share.